Hello, online crew. How are you going? Just connecting with Instagram there. How are you? So, what we're talking about today is something that you really want to be able to create online. And if you can, you will definitely speed up your results. And particularly for those of you that are growing organically. So let me know. I'd love to know, are you doing Facebook advertising of any sort, or are you growing your business online organically? If you are mainly concentrating on organic methods, and by organic, I mean your posts, maybe you're doing reels, maybe you're doing TikToks to try to tap into that untapped organic reach, those kind of things. Like, are you mainly building online organically or using paid advertising? Because even if you use paid advertising, you still need to create this thing that I'm going to talk about online to really sort of be successful. So you guys would know social media is very, very busy. A couple of years ago, we had this pandemic around the world and everyone went online. So that screams opportunity. That's awesome. It's brought us all a lot of opportunity to build online, learn things like attraction marketing, do short form video like reels and TikToks and those kind of things. Like, the opportunity for every one of us to build a business online is absolutely amazing. But with the amount of people that have come online and continue to come online, there's a lot of competition, don't you think? So how do you stand out from the crowd? If you can create what I'm going to share with you today online, it will definitely help speed up your results, because I'm not kidding. It's not the amount of followers that you have. You can have a smaller amount of followers, but if those followers that you've got, even if that's a smaller amount than other people you see online, if you have a human connection with your audience, that will serve you far better than having a big audience that do nothing, say nothing, buy nothing. They just, and you've got low engagement. Would you agree with that? That even if you've got a smaller audience, but those audience love what you say, they love what you do, they have a good connection to you, then you're going to get better results than somebody that's got a huge following, but they don't have that same connection. So what I'm talking about here, but stay with me, because this is important to listen to as to how you execute this. What you really want to strive for online is, especially if you're building organically, is human connection. You can't forget that. Human beings make financial decisions on their emotions. Did you know that? You do that. Have you ever gone to an event, a special event, and ladies, you'll know what I'm talking about. You want to go and buy a new outfit for that special occasion. Why do you want to do that? It's a physical feeling. It's not a need. You don't probably have a need, or maybe some of you do, but you don't necessarily have a need for new things. Like, what's your things? What do you like to shop for? Ladies especially, is it handbags? Is it shoes? Is it clothes? Is it, I don't know, things that you collect? There are things that we buy all the time, 100% out of emotion and not out of need. How many of you eat chocolate? Do you know what I'm talking about? You don't need chocolate, even though you might think you do. You don't need chocolate. You eat chocolate because of an emotional desire, probably for something sweet. Correct? So think of the online world like chocolate. People that follow you, that have that emotional connection with you, that vibe with you, that think you're pretty cool, that learn things from you, they have an emotional connection to you, like a human connection to you. They're more likely to buy from you versus somebody else selling the same thing. Do you agree with that? Do you understand that? Human beings buy. It's really important that you understand this in the online world. Human beings buy on their emotions. People don't buy because they're emotions. People like things that they think are too expensive. It's an emotional thing for them. Then they probably could afford it if they really wanted to, but they might think something's too expensive or they can't invest in something or whatever. So it's more of an emotional decision as to whether they could or couldn't. Sometimes you can or can't, but people buy things on emotion. And when people really think something is going to help them or someone is going to help them, they will invest. Do you agree? So, what are you trying to build on social media? And if you can just really, take it to another level with your social media content, even your micro video content, show your personality, show your authenticity, show how genuine you are. If you've got any results to speak of, show of those results because it builds trust, it builds likability, and it just overall builds that know, like, and trust factor. Now, you can build that quite quickly, even with a small audience, when you show up in certain ways on social media. So when you are really genuine, when you are authentic, when you're consistent, how many of you need to build your consistency on social media? People that come and go from social media, people don't trust. People that show up all the time. So if you're building organically, how often are you showing up? How often are you going live like this, like live video? How often are you putting out reels or TikToks? How often are you posting? Or are you posting and ghosting? Are you only posting once a week? Are you only doing, one reel every few days or, a couple of weeks, those kind of things? That consistency doesn't build know, like, and trust. It doesn't build human connection. So if you're getting any message from this video, it's like, how do I build human connection? How do I build human connection? I need to build the know, like, and trust factor. I need to be more consistent, might be your message from this video. Or maybe you just need to let some walls down and talk more like a human and talk more like you rather than teaching and talking at people. So many people on social media talk at people, or they try to teach and train things, but they sound a little bit like a robot. Like if you look back on your content, if you've got video content or micro video content, you sound like a little bit of a robot. That's not going to build human connection. So the quicker, the faster that you can really just be you is your biggest asset, and people feel like they know you, they like you, they trust you. That'll build your credibility. It'll build your authenticity. And so some of you might be thinking, well, yeah, I get that, but how do I kind of do that? Storytelling is the best way that you can do that. What's your journey that you're on? And I'm going to sort of share with you here something I often say. You don't need to be successful to create a human connection with somebody online. You just need to know where you're going, where you're headed, what your vision is. How do you want to inspire people? How do you want to empower people? Even if you haven't arrived to where you want to go. But if your message and you're determined and you're authentic and you're genuine about the journey that you're on, about the vision that you have, about what you're learning and what you're sharing, people go on that journey with you. That's storytelling. That will create human connection. Have you ever listened to somebody you've never met before? Maybe you've gone to a conference and you've listened to somebody on stage and you've never heard them talk before. And you're like, that was amazing. Maybe you come across somebody on social media and you stumble across a Facebook Live of theirs or a reel or something like that, and they grab your attention. It's probably because they've got an authentic message or a genuine message or a captivating message or a story or a result or something like that. Can you relate to that? Like that's what you want to create online to your audience. So how do you captivate people? How do you be a little bit more genuine? How do you be a little bit more authentic? Or how do you show up more often if you're growing authentically? And something I just talked about if you're in my coaching community, my online crew coaching community, we just had an amazing live Q&A Zoom call. I do them once a month for the community in there. And we talked a lot about just amazing topics. So if you're in my coaching community, make sure you catch the replay of that call. It was a really good call. And I've completely forgotten what I was just about to say. It might come back to me in a minute. But when people vibe with people and they create that human connection, people are more likely to recommend you. Have you ever had somebody recommend somebody they follow online to you? Or have you ever recommended somebody that you follow online to other people? The only reason that you would do that is because that you really resonate with their genuineness, what they're teaching and training with you. Like you feel that they're really authentic in what they're doing online. So are you creating that for your audience? For other people to recommend you? And you don't have to have a huge audience to get results. I'll give you an example. TikTok. I did a video on TikTok. Yes, I've done a couple of videos and it's quite funny actually. I put up a video on TikTok a few days ago and it is an awful video. If you're in my coaching community, that you would have heard the full story on that call before, but I've repeated myself terribly. And there are a lot of people on TikTok that have told me that over the last few days. If you know anything about me and my TikTok journey, I have no tolerance for negativity. It's just delete, 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 delete. So if somebody says something negative to me about me or what I've said or my content or whatever, I don't indulge, I don't reply, I just push on the comment and I delete. But the amount of people that I've deleted over the last few days that have told me that I've repeated myself and I'm long-winded and the video was over 4 minutes on TikTok. That's way too long for a TikTok video. I know that. I've learnt from that. I just did it quickly. I put it up. I didn't really re-listen to what I said, whatever. Anyway, it's got over 120,000 views, hence why I'm still getting comments on it, okay? That's one example. Another one, I put up a video yesterday and I was really quite bold about a call to action, about a special we've got on in my company, discount codes, those kind of things. Like it was a bold video for me on TikTok. It's got terrible views. It hasn't done well. But overnight, it's my morning in Australia and I loaded that up at dinner time last night. So it hasn't even been up for not even 24 hours. Maybe just over 12 hours. I woke up to 2 new customers, automated from TikTok, and 2 other people in my inbox, in my email, because that was my call to action, asking for information. So while I've slept, there are 4 people, 2 of them have already bought and 2 of them are about to buy because of, the TikToks, because of the connection that those people have with me. And these are strangers, on TikTok. What's my point? My point around that is and I don't know whether you guys are venturing into TikTok or not, but you think of that journey. I've only rebranded on TikTok like 6 months ago. My following has gone through the roof. I've had more customers than I've ever had before, constant new customers. Okay. How does that happen? When I've been on Facebook and Instagram for years, building up a brand, doing Facebook Lives for this for years, not having, as many consistent new customer sales as that I have in, just a few months on TikTok. It's because of the journey that I'm sharing. It's me. It's more real and authentic. Like you can't argue with my journey or my story that I'm having over there on TikTok. I am fiercely consistent. Except for last week, I dropped off for a few days. But overall, I'm very consistent. So you look at the results of that: consistency, genuineness, authenticity. It's me and my journey and my story. Yes, I've got products to offer that have helped me on that journey. And, that's where all my customer sales are coming from, at the moment, more so. Okay. So do you get how you need to show up? And if you can create that, and just to finish off that point, I got terrible views from the video that I did yesterday on TikTok, probably because it was so bold. The algorithm probably picked that up. But there's 4 people in under 12 hours. 2 have already bought, 2 are going to buy. Versus the video of mine that went viral, over 120,000, I think it's got now. And all these people telling me that get to the point, you're talking too long, and yeah, It was too long, and I see that. But my point here is, you don't need a lot of people. You don't need viral videos to get the result. You just need to, I mean, how many of you would like, I think my TikTok from yesterday's only had about 600 views. So for me on TikTok, that's quite low, but I've got more sales from that than the one that went viral. So you don't, my point again, you don't need, see, I'm repeating myself again. You don't need to have huge views to get sales when you have a connection. So I don't know what you're taking from this conversation, but if you take anything, it would be maybe questions for yourself is, how do I get more authentic? How do I be more genuine? How do I share my journey more? Or what journey am I on? Or what journey am I not really sharing? If it's business and you're building online, you need to share that journey of what you're learning and turn around and teach what you're learning. That's how you do that. If you're on a product journey, then what journey are you on? Is it a health journey, a weight loss journey, an inflammation journey, an energy journey, a jewelry journey, a travel journey? Like if you've got a product or a service, what's that journey that you're on? And you show up and you talk about that all the time. Repetition, unfortunately, is what you need to do. And you might sit there and think, I'm just saying the same thing over and over and over again. That's actually what it takes online now to cut through. So don't ever think you're repeating yourself, because people need to hear your message 15, 20 times before they might reach out to you, maybe even longer. But your sole job, particularly if you're growing organically, is to really dial in and think, how can I create a better human connection with my audience? And you guys know, because you're either getting engagement or not. You're either getting people commenting, liking, reacting, asking you for information or not. If you're not, you might want to evaluate your content. How often are you posting? Where are you posting? The consistency of your message, your storytelling, all of those kind of things. Like you might want to evaluate those kind of things, because you might be able to do a better job of any one of those things or all of those things. Okay. I hope that makes sense. So building organically, I so agree with you on small and active rather than huge and no real connection. And don't get caught up with the vanity of social media, which a lot of people do. They think the bigger the following, the bigger the results. It's not the case. You can have a small number of people on your lives. You can have a smaller audience, but if you've got a really good connection with them, you can do better with somebody with a really large audience that doesn't have that connection. Okay? Claudette, chocolate, yes. Clothes, shopping, no, not for you. No, I think I heard you say the other day you don't like shopping. Yeah, people do buy on emotion, Cherie. I certainly agree, which is why I'm so attached to you, Helen. Oh, well, thank you. I presume you're sort of saying there that you feel that connection with me and that I'm here to help, with building a business online. Hopefully that's how you feel. Okay, so remember, if you are a coaching community member, we just had an awesome live Q&A Zoom call. Go and watch the replay of that over in the coaching community Facebook group, and I will see you guys live tomorrow.